Hi there, and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection UK. It's New Year's Day 2023, and here is a video I am so excited to bring you. It's finally the full toy room tour. So, the toy room, it's been, well, 19 years in the making, this video. I started collecting figures way back in 2004 with WWE Jakks, Classic Superstars, Series 3, Bret Hart, and Ultimate Warrior. Hence the logo is Bret Hart pink. Shout out to my sister for the merch for Christmas. So here we are. We're going to do a full house tour. It's not just the toy room. Shout out to Cheeky Monkey Kiara for giving me the master bedroom as the toy room. So the biggest room in the house is the toy room. But we've got Mezco's downstairs. So we've got Marvel Legends. We've got G.I. Joe Classified to go through. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We've got Gargoyles at the top. We've got Mortal Kombat in gaming selections. We've got Mythic Legions down the bottom here. We've got He-Man and Masters of the Universe. Up to Star Wars. We've got Star Wars at the top. We've got WWE Wrestling down here. And lots of miscellaneous to come. So, hope you enjoy this one. It's going to be a long one, but it's going to be a good one. So here we go. The Toy Room Tour 2023. Right, let's start this off in the only way we can with Marvel Legends. So here is a quick overview of the Marvel Legends display. And you may notice that this used to be a wardrobe. So this master bedroom here did have a built-in wardrobe in, but in 2022, I was looking for more figure space to display. So the wardrobe, well, it had to come out. Suffice to say, the missus wasn't very happy with me, as her clothes had to leave the wardrobe and go elsewhere. But the Marvel Legends wardrobe is now complete. So a bit of blue paint there where the doors used to be. The doors have come off. I've got a thing for taking doors off. The toy room doesn't have a door either. It has a door curtain, so I could do some displaying behind it. But we'll get to that. So a bit of wallpaper at the back there. Just some Marvel wallpaper from a local DIY store. Also matches the lampshade we have at the top there. So we're on point here. Then I got some Marvel wrapping paper on what used to be the clothes pole, so I could hang some of the figures on there. And at the end, I slapped a bit of blue paint on top. I even expanded to the top of the wardrobe, but we'll get all to that in this video. So, retro cars was a new thing for me in 2022, as I finally decided to start actually collecting them. So I thought, right, with this display, I'll try and have one of every retro card at the back there. So if we can get in here. We've got Firelord on the Fantastic Four retro card, followed by War Machine on the Iron Man retro card, Lizard there on the Spidey retro card, the bombastic Bagman himself on like the Marvel Superheroes card. Shout out to the Dan Who Blue Beast on the X-Men card. There's Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider on the Ghost Rider card, and way up there is Captain America on the 20th anniversary card. I also decided to expand them down the side with the retro Iron Man, Johnny Storm, the new animated Spider-Man, there's animated Venom down there, and a huge Apocalypse. Also, we go deep inside the wardrobe. There you are, deep inside my wardrobe. We have Webman filling a bit of a gap on the wall, Shocker, Scarlet Witch, Vision, and way down there is an extra Ghost Rider I had lying around. So that is an overview of the wardrobe. So what we'll do now is literally go in there shelf by shelf. Right, we'll start down the very bottom and we'll work our way up. So we'll start with the Daredevil shelf. What I like to do with my Marvel Legends is kind of theme them into different categories in each display. So this is like a Marvel Knights street level sort of scene, and I do use the cutouts from the box to theme each shelf. So I've gone for a Daredevil cutout there. I'll just have a quick overview of the figures in this section. We've got the Stiltman Builder figure, just the one set of legs on him, otherwise he becomes too big for the shelf. Got a custom Matt Murdock there on the Coulson body, I think, MCU Coulson body to make that. Punisher's one of my favourite characters, so he's at the front. Love that head sculpt on Elektra. Jigsaw, another really good head sculpt we got this year at the front of the display. There's a Kingpin at the back, Mr. Hyde at the back. The Grey Hulk's got in there, a couple of Black Hand Ninjas. I do like to use like the base diorama pieces just to sort of set the display off. So that crosses from Marvel Select Daredevil figure, I think, And in the corner there, next to Purple Man and Jewel, is one of the bases from the early Toy Biz, Daredevil. So that is the Daredevil cube. We now work our way up into the sort of modern Avengers shelf, if I call it. So we've got some sort of all new or different uncanny Avengers, I think, figures over there as well. Got the Ironheart is the logo I went for, because that Riri Williams is just a really good figure. So she is front and centre on the shelves with Ms. Marvel and Miles there. We go a bit further into the back. We've got like the Dormammu Builder figure. We've got the Onslaught, can't even speak in this one. That's Onslaught with the red skull head sculpt on it. We have a regular Onslaught elsewhere. We've got Red Hulk. I've got put the bullseye head sculpt there on Hawkeye to make sort of the evil version. Kate Bishop there. I do love a bit of Doctor Doom, so he's always got to be on the front of the shelf. Squirrel Girl there. I do like that one, a little rider. So that's sort of modern Avengers. And then we go up into sort of X-Force, X-Factor sort of teams there. Some of those box sets we've got recently. So how Maggot's made his way into the front of the shelf there. He was supposed to be at the back, but he must have fallen over probably and ended up on the front. Lady Deathstrike in there. This strong guy at the back, you can see. Siren's got a bit of metal up her bum, trying to float her above the collection. That Apocalypse is a pretty cool figure. We've got Warpath and everybody back there. So Cable and Deadpool. So looking okay. Oh, this video is going to play hell on my knees, I tell you, all this bending. So at least I'm standing up now. So Alpha Flight is the label I've gone for. John Byrne Alpha Flight there at the front. A great little box set we had of that a few years ago. We'll get a collapse. Oh, we've had a collapse. The Hellfire Club have gone down. Pair of Hellfire Hanks there in front of Emma Frost. That is the Emma Frost display from Marvel Select at the fire paste. But Sebastian Shaw seems to have fallen down and taken out Mastermind there as well. We've got one of my first Toy Biz figures, because I also started collecting Marvel Legends in about 2004 when I started collecting the wrestling. It was the green Series 6 Phoenix, which came with that flaming base that you see Dark Phoenix on there. So that base has been with me for 19 years now. So we've got both Marvel Legends Phoenixes there. I don't really have any Toy Biz on display anymore, I don't think. We'll see as we go through the collection. There might be one still sneaking in there, but most of them have been replaced by the Hasbro sort of more modern versions. There's a UK team, UK rep in there with Excalibur in the corner. I do like some of these figures there. I do quite into me X-Men, so as you'll probably tell as we go through, there's quite a few different sort of X-Men displays. You might get sort of tinge of blue lighting in here. That's because the way I lit it, you see on the back here, we've got sort of LED strips that give off a sort of whitey blue glow with the blue of the wallpaper and the painting. So that's how it's lit up. But it does look quite effective in person. Now on to the next one. We've reached the top of the first side of the inner wardrobe, and it is the main sort of X-Men display here. So a selection of Wolverines, that little Wolverine slug minifigure at the front there. Weapon X was one of my favourites, so always remember that episode of the animated series. So he's at the front again, using the Hasbro Weapon X with the Toy Biz Weapon X display base. Storm has literal jelly legs, as they say in the community. She doesn't stand up, so she's on a sort of knee-bending pose because she just falls off all the bloody time. There was a blob at the back, but I have literally just sold the blob to fund the new blob. So looking forward to replacing the blob. One of my favourite Wolverines is the Days of Future Past. You might see as we go downstairs later, I do have a signed Chris Claremont issue of Days of Future Past. So I do like that cover, so very happy to get that with the smaller Sentinel. So the main sort of Jim Lee team is in here. Professor X at the back there on his hover chair. Storm again. She's on a, I think she's on a DC Batman the Animated Series flight stand at the back there. Sabretooth, I think we need a more animated looking Sabretooth really. Archangel there. I've mixed the two Archangel together, so I think that's like the 2015-2014 Archangel, but with the wings, the shinier wings from the more modern release. And then the Sauron builder figure. That is a great builder figure. So as we take a sort of step back, you'll see where we've gone so far, literally just down this one side of the display. And the next bit, a little more awkward because I've got to get in there and there isn't much of a gap on the floor. One thing I have done is the VHS boxes are going to go all the way down the middle. So I think, and with the Spidey-Man? We'll keep it in. Spider-Man ones to come. That could look quite effective. So, see if I can get in this gap. Right, now we come to the very awkward bit as I try and reach in the corner. So this might be a very short section. This is Iron Man versus Asgard. We've got the Thor figures and the Iron Man figures. So right down there in the corner, we've got the Absorbing Man and Malekith. Fortnite 4 as they call him. Gore the God Butcher's at the front there. One of my favourites, probably one of the most expensive figures I've ever bought is Hare, the comic book Hare from an old SDCC box set. Thor's dad is at the back there, his granddad I think is right at the back there. Ares is there, quite a few there for Asgard. Into Iron Man with the comic Ironmonger at the back. There's a Falcon flying there, there's MODOK. All different sort of Iron Man variations of armour at the side, Silver Centurion. And the Marvel vs. Capcom, more sort of animated series with the Proto Cannon right at the front there, which I did manage to pick up in the Hasbro Pulse Advent sale. So at least I got one to open. So that is Iron Man vs. Asgard, and I'm getting out of this position onto the next shelf. As we move a little higher up, we move into the Fantastic Four shelf. So there's one of the old Black Panther there's with the Marvel Select base. Doctor Doom, literally my favourite Marvel character, as I said before, at the back on his throne, which is the Diamond Select throne with the Marvel Legends retro Doctor Doom there, sat on that. There is probably the best, I think, of the Fantastic Four. We've got the Walgreens Fantastic Four crew at the front, but I have changed Johnny out for the retro Johnny Storm. I do like the black lines painted on that one. Little Herbie down the front there from the old 70s animated show. I was going to say that's a Toy Biz then in Annihilus, but I think that's actually Dark Days of Hasbro at the back, the old Annihilus. He needs an update. Kang the Conqueror at the front, a really good figure there. A Skrull Builder figure. There is a new version of Toax. Still not sure if I prefer the new or the old one, so I might swap him out eventually. There's a few more characters there at the back. There's Namor. That's sort of another awkward angle we've got down here. Hopefully the next shelf I can stand up on. Right, into a couple of shelves of Spidey now. So Spidey is my sort of go-to with Marvel. So we got a lot of Spidey in here. So I went for more sort of 90s Spidey characters on this shelf from Silver Sable. So Ben Reilly himself there. There's Deathlock. There's that new Venom from the 3-pack. As I say, that's probably the best head sculpt in Marvel Legends. Such a good head sculpt. On the transforming Eddie Brock Venom there. Cloak and Dagger. At the front into Cyborg, Spidey, Hydro Man and the Jackal. Again a Toy Biz lizard base there. Spider Carnage and Mysterio, got a bit of webbing on them. There's quite an underrated builder figure in my opinion. I love the Sandman builder figure. So he's a bit hard to balance on his ball hips, but still a very good figure. The New Warriors are in there with Speedball, Firestar, Nova, etc. The Demo Goblin at the back there. At the very back, we had a bit of a collapse with Sleepwalker. That is the Black Cat base again from Marvel Select with the Marvel Legends Retro Black Cat. So that is the Spidey sort of more 90s shelf. And we'll move on to the classic Spidey shelf. Right, I'm literally deep in the wardrobe now, trying to balance myself. So here is the classic Spidey shelf. So Kingpin has to be front and centre. Love the Kingpin and love that figure. There's the Amazing Fantasy logo from the packaging and the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man himself. Classic Kraven. Excited to get an animated Kraven this year. The Rhino again, he's balanced on the... What base is that? That's Spider-Man Classics Rhino from like 2002, I think it is. Lizard, love that figure. Made my top 22 of 2022. Shameless plug, don't forget to check that one out if you haven't watched it already. Doctor Doom there, looking very nice. J. Jonah Jameson himself. The Shockers trying to break out of jail. Now that's a WCW Toy Biz 1999 Sid Vicious base. So that's a random one. Hobgoblin, the Green Goblin I should say, and the Vulture back in the corner. Talking of Hobgoblin, he's at the front. Wish we had a different head sculpt, but love Hobgoblin. Again, using the Toy Biz base with the Hasbro figure. A Venom at the back. A Morbius at the back there. He doesn't always like to focus, I think, at the back there. Doc Ock is at the back. a different Sandman. So that is classic Spidey. And the final shelf inside the bottom of the wardrobe is the Cosmic shelf. So I've gone for the Infinity Gauntlet graphic cutout, using the pole to the best of its ability to hang a few up there. There's the controller you can see at the back there. The sort of King Thanos head into a close-up on Sentry's crotch. There you go, you wanted a close-up on Sentry's crotch. Cosmic Ghost Rider is what I was trying to get into the shot, but there we go. All it wanted to focus on was Sentry's crotch. There we are. There's Thanos himself snapping his fingers at the front. Firelord makes the front, so does Captain Marvel. Oh, Marvel makes it. Where's Captain Marvel? She was there. Oh, there she is. Look, she's hiding. Carol's hiding there next to the Silver Surfer. Used the Void head sculpt on the old Sentry body. The Guardians of the Galaxy box set, and that was a good box set back in the day. Love that massive Groot. So they take a place there. There's Morg and Frankie Ray. Look at that terrible posing I've got on Frankie Ray there. Galactus isn't here. He is downstairs with the Mezco figures. You'll see him later on in the video. But that's the Cosmic shelf. So I've been now down the one side you saw earlier. And now we've been down the second side of the wardrobe. So now we're going to need a ladder, because we're going to need to go to the top of the wardrobe. Right, as you can see, we're on a ladder. We're way up in the heavens. So here is the top of the Marvel Legends wardrobe, which was literally a recent addition in the last few months. So I've managed to get the NECA street scene diorama in this gap, which is rather difficult. Got some of the retro cards on the top there. The 80th of Marvel logo. There's Dark Phoenix in long shot. I've put the flash on this time to try and see if we can get in here. So this is the top of the wardrobe, and everything else in. So I don't know how I'm going to get in here, but we'll try. So we've got all sorts displayed in here. Literally, there's a mix of everything. So we've got an X-Force grey team up there. There's the new Bullseye up there. We've got the Gamerverse figures. You probably shall see in the building. We've got Mr. Negative. There's a Hydra selection. You can see the Serpent Society there. There's the Wrecking Crew into the Black Panther on the front there. Into a more X-Men. The Age of Apocalypse has ended up in here. If I can get my hand in, look at this. Oh, this is brave, isn't it? This is very brave. Oh, there we go, we're in. So we've got the classic X-Men team in there in their original costumes. The modern Fantastic Four. House of X, Powers of X is in here. That's more House of X, isn't it? What have we got down here? Age of Apocalypse. There's Venom Pool Bath. We've got some sort of posters I've put up on the wall in there. Some old brick wallpaper I had left over from the living room. As we come down into there. Oh, we've had a clap. Somebody's gone. There goes Cyclops, that we've killed him in the video. Now I'm going to really have to try and stretch over here. So there's the Red Skull. There's the Ghost Rider. You can see there's some more Hydra in there. There's the oh, what's in there? I can't even see. There's the Venom stuff. All the symbiotes have made it in there, the full set of symbiotes. I can see the modern Hobgoblin up there. We've got Spinneret. We've got Null and everybody in there. There's the Captain America way over there. We've got some more variations of Venom and Carnage. But it's quite hard to film in here, but that is literally the top of the wardrobe display, which doesn't look too bad when you look at it from the back of the room. So that is the top of the wardrobe. Now we'll go into the Marvel Overflow section. So we couldn't quite fit everything into the wardrobe. We need some room to be left to expand over the years. So here's the Overflow section. So we've got 3 shelves just labelled Marvel. And I'll go through them now. So we'll start down the bottom. This is going to be the animated figures. So you'll see at the front there's Into the Spider-Verse. There's What If figures at the back. Into Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Literally the first thing I ever saw for Marvel was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. So very excited to get that Iceman figure. We've got then the X-Men VHS stuff in there. All the different cel-shaded figures. A bookcase for Professor X, which comes from the Gotham range of Diamond Select. And then the animated colours of the Scorpion, with plenty of room at the front there for the VHS Spider-Man to come. Up into the X-Men Overflow shelf. So we've got the new Wolverine there, waiting for his yellow suit Jim Lee team to come. We've got the New Mutants at the back there. Got the random Silver Samurai and Wolverine on his bike, the Juggernaut, Black Tom, and a Deadpool, and then the Mojoverse, the big fat bastard himself. Look at him. What a great figure that is. That annoyingly it went into the Hasbro Pulse Advent sale, so half the price I paid, but still a great figure. And then Spiral, which I said, pretty much the highest ranked Marvel Legend of the Year that isn't Galactus. So that's the X-Men Overflow shelf. And this is everything Marvel. So from classic Avengers to Spidey, everybody should be represented on this shelf. Nick Fury's in there. We've got some as Hercules, Doctor Strange, another great figure is the Doctor Strange using the Marvel Select Doctor Strange base as well. There's US Agent, classic Daredevil, She-Hulk, the Leader, shout out T Grey. And we've got Shang-Chi at the back there, the Wasps hanging up. So that is the last overflow shelf of Marvel Legends. So hopefully there's room to expand in 2023. Otherwise we're going to have to do a bit more selling to make some room. Right, on to G.I. Joe Classified and Action Force. So this has been a rapidly changing part of the toy room over the last year. I've moved this about 3 times, the G.I. Joe section. So let's have a quick look at it. So with G.I. Joe then, I don't really have any nostalgia for the property because I didn't collect G.I. Joe as a kid at all. I had a couple of like the 12-inch Action Man here in the UK, but nothing major, and I'd never seen the cartoon. So what started off this collection was the fact that Classified came out, and just being in the toy community, you hear so much about it, watching sort of all the live streams and reviews and everything, and I just started to get an interest, and then I found out that the old sort of Sumbo cartoon was on YouTube. So off I went, watching that Sumbo cartoon, and I am an absolute sucker for an 80s cartoon, and I absolutely love the G.I. Joe cartoon. I'm about 50 episodes in so far and absolutely addicted to it. So that spawned this new collection of G.I. Joe Classified, and then the Valaverse Action Force as well. So I've got 1 cube of the Valaverse Action Force. We'll start with that then. So we've got the Sergeant Slaughter. I do have sort of one of the digital comics, trying to learn the story for this. Triggers at the front there. The Swarm at the back. It's a great little figure with the translucent wings. Really do enjoy that one. There's Tony himself, from Analog Toys Desert Rat there. So that's the Action Force cube. And then G.I. Joe, the reason it has the back wall here and all the screws in the wall, that is for the HasLab Sky Striker that will be coming in 2023. So I have back the Sky Striker, the 3 3/4 inch scale one, but I think as a plane attached to the wall behind the figures, it will look quite effective. So looking forward to that, and it should be here hopefully at the start of February. So there's room. Also, the reason I've moved over here with a lot of space is for the HISS tank, because I have back the HasLab HISS tank, so I needed room to that to fit in, and all the other vehicles there. So Zartan takes front and centre. He's pretty much one of my favourites from the cartoon, along with Cobra Commander, who is up there, and Destro himself, who's on the Baroness's bike up there. Tiger Force Outback up there on the top. So there's plenty of room to expand G.I. Joe Classified. They're just such great little figures. So very happy with this collection, and that will grow a lot in 2023. As we carry on this side of the room, then next to the Action Force underneath, I have these smaller cubes, and here is one of my favourites from childhood, which is Batman 66. Now this was on repeats all the time when I was a kid, so I love the sort of 60s campy goodness. Shout out to David Evan and Smith, who of course loves this as well. So that's a great little cube from Mcfarlane. Such cheap figures, about £15–16. I think the Batmobile was like £25. The little diorama play set, why it's not the greatest, actually as a display piece, as you can see, just fits in really well in there. Vivid memories of that Joker from childhood with that moustache. Unfortunately Mcfarlane didn't do the moustache there. Down into another sort of 80s retro property, which is NECA Defenders of the Earth. So another small cube to represent another childhood cartoon. You can sense the nostalgic theme through the collection. So there's room to grow there with some new characters due to be released. Down into another small cube, which is a new one I've just started. which is the Universal Monsters. Couldn't resist that mummy figure there coming out of that sarcophagus, which I got for like half price as well. So plenty of room to expand those in 2023. And another small one is Spawn. So I started collecting Spawn during lockdown, needed something to collect, so Spawn it was. So there's sort of Batman versus Spawn with the Mcfarlane Kickstarter Spawn, the Mcfarlane statue, sort of Batman there, and the old ice cream truck seller there, hanging. That thing is just absolutely sick, hanging dead there, and there's everybody there for Spawn. So that's that little section. So we've covered so far Marvel Legends around there, and down into this section. Moving on. And I might sound like a broken record, but another childhood favourite. I just love cartoons. And I did love the sort of mid-90s Gargoyles cartoons. So there's not a lot in the collection now because they're not available in the UK. Shout out to Mike X for helping out with Demona. Everything else I managed to get from a Big Bad Toy Store. So Hudson, I've literally just been invoiced from BBTS for that. So looking forward to getting Hudson and all the rest. Xanatos and all the crew. So there's plenty of room up in the corner. The screws are on the wall. Got the Storm Collectibles flight stands there, which is what Goliath is on. Because these wings, you need room. So there's definite room to expand Gargoyles in 2023. And one more sort of cartoon is more of a modern sort of anime. It's My Hero Academia, which I just randomly started watching and then thought, right, let's get some figures. So we do have a little cube representing a lot of the characters. I'm not going to be very good with their names. So there is My Hero Academia. And no names at all, because I literally can't remember them. But I do enjoy the show. So that gets a little cube in this section. So we now go into Storm Collectibles Gaming. So we start down the bottom with the Tekken figures, which is a collection that's sort of just starting off. King in the background there, and a few of the other characters from Tekken. Wasn't my favourite game in childhood, but I really just love these Storm Collectibles figures, so I'm just going sort of all in on all the different lines, really. So, Golden Axe. Now that is a Mega Drive classic, or Sega Genesis for my US friends. Love Golden Axe, still play it to this day. You may have seen it on the channel in the retro sort of Mega Drive Classics games. Tyrus Flare at the back there. Gilius Thunderhead, who made the top 22 of 2022. Axe Battler himself. These figures are just such a good quality. Yes, they are rather pricey, at about sort of nearly £100 a figure, really. But they are just so good. They articulate so well. Posing really isn't my thing, but they are just so smooth to move around. And what a great colourful collection Golden Axe is. So looking to expand that this year with a few more characters due. Up into another Mega Drive classic, which is Street Fighter 2 and a few other of the Street Fighter games. Now Jada Toys will be coming with a Street Fighter line in 2023. And yeah, I'll probably get that too. But here's a Street Fighter 4 Evil Ryu I just picked up in the Toys R Us sale for half price, so that wasn't bad. Ryu and Ken there at the front. Yonder, sort of on my body shape. Zangief and Chun-Li at the back. Shout out to super producer Rich M. He's a Chun-Li fan if you didn't know. Sagat and Bison, the variant of Akuma. So that is the Street Fighter Storm Collectibles. Now they do release them not that often, which is good because I say they are a little pricey. And on into my favourite game as a kid, which was Mortal Kombat. Yeah, my mother, she didn't really know what I was playing, so on the old Mega Drive it was, and there I was, sort of decapitating people. So Sub-Zero is my favourite character, so he takes front and centre. Into the ninjas of Scorpion and Reptile. These are the Mortal Kombat 3 versions. I did have the originals, but they were worth so much I sold those to fund these. So this is how I do a lot of the collecting throughout the room. A lot of the lines I've had over the years I don't actually have anymore because I have to sell older lines to fund newer lines. But that's the way to keep in a toy game these days. Entire at the background there. The variant version from Mortal Kombat 3 of Sub-Zero. Raiden's literally had a lovely time at the front here. Used his lightning powers. He's taken off Noomsabot's head and his arms. These accessories, though, are just ridiculous from Storm Collectibles. The actual accessories they can get away with and putting in these figures. But Shao Kahn there, sort of the main boss of Mortal Kombat. And big old Goro at the background there. But an absolute great collection. But that is the sort of overview. We've got 5 cubes of, sort of 5 double cubes of Storm Collectibles. Right, on to the next bit. Moving on then to complete this side of the toy room with my 3rd biggest collection, I think, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles behind Marvel Legends and WWE. Now, I love these little creatures since I was probably a 2-year-old kid back in about 1989. Leonardo is the best turtle. There is no question on that one. But what a set this is from NECA and Super 7. So we're going to start down here with the ones I haven't even got to unboxing yet. So I did wait, because there's just so many figures in this line for the sale, to try and get some of these. So we've got the Crooked Ninja and the Rock Soldier. We've got none of those to open. Got the Mirage Comics, Utrom and Casey Jones still to open. We've got Zack and Smash still to open. Wingnut and Screw Loose. Could be a good day opening all these, I think, sometime soon. Dirtbag and Ground Chuck. Anthrax and Scumbug. I did wait for a lot of those to say in the sale. There is like potentially the holy grail of a line. It is Scrag. Shout out to Super Turk 5000 and Dan Who Reviews for their Turtles and Tea show, which they have kindly had me on as a guest a couple of times. I love Turtles. Could talk about it all day. But the FOMO got me on Scrag because I didn't order all the loot crates. But of the announcement of all the rest of the gang to come next year, so very glad I did manage to pick him up. And literally just after Christmas, after nearly 2 years of waiting in the UK, the Turtles in Disguise set has turned up. So there's a lot of Turtles to open, but now let's see what we have got on the shelves. Right, we'll start at the bottom and work our way up, because I'm lazy, I'm fat, and I can't be asked to stand up. So we've got the Last Ronin. Did manage to get them over from AliExpress, so the Last Ronin is on his own at the moment. Hopefully a lot more to come, and we have just seen announcements from NECA of more Turtles to come this year. So that's going to be a nice cube, I think, by the end of the year. The Last Ronin. If you haven't read it, read it. It's an absolute great comic. Talking of comics, it's the classic Mirage. Now, I never read these as a kid. I've started to read these as an adult. I've gone through and bought a lot of the modern IDW reprints of the Mirage Turtles, and it's nothing like the cartoon. It's a lot more graphic and violent. And as an older person, well, that's great. So those aren't the real NECA ones, though. If anybody's wondering, those are the KOs of the Mirage Turtles. But again, that's going to be a great shelf this year with so much more to come. The Hench Turtles coming out from this line. The Battle Damage Shredder. That is I think that's a Loot Crate exclusive Shredder there from the Mirage one. A very rare piece to find these days. And a bit of a Marvel Legends base of some sort, I think, down there to set off the street scene. So that is the sort of couple of comic book shelves. And then moving up to another childhood favourite. Literally everything is my childhood favourite. I'm discovering on this video that I literally just have super nostalgia for everything I remember. And I watched a lot of stuff, but the 1990 Turtle movie, what a film that was, and what a great collection this is of figures. Danny there from the Loot Crate at the front. I love that design of Shredder. Casey Jones is in there. Hopefully you can see in there the light. There's the new little Splinter in his cage from the 2-pack. Raph is in Disguise. We've got some Foot Soldiers, a couple of Aprils. So that's the first movie in one little cube. I said to myself I wouldn't collect the second movie. Well, lied to myself, because I am. The 4 Turtles are due soon from NECA. They're already on order, and so is Toka and Razor. But what got me in was this Shredder, the Daffodils. I know everybody in the community loves these Daffodils, so do I. Great figures on the Daffodils there. Ooh, he looks sort of blue with the light on there, but no, he is purple. Trust me, there you go. He looks more purple there. Super Shredder. Anybody doesn't know, that's old Kevin Nash from WWE back in the day. I didn't like the second film as much as the first, but the designs are pretty cool, so that's going to be a cool little cube. Coming across, now here's something that started in 2022 that I shouldn't have even collected. There's so many turtle lines here, it's ridiculous. Super 7 Turtles. Now, I've always said to myself, the thing that wound me up about Turtles as a kid was this Shredder at the back there. The fact that he doesn't look like he looked in the cartoon because he didn't have his top on. So that always wound me up, and I wasn't really a fan of the figures because it didn't look like what I wanted. But the NECA figures, of course, have filled that itch. So they do look like the classic cartoons. But now that itch is filled, I got a bit nostalgic for the ones I didn't have as a kid. I thought, right, let's get these. So I'm just an idiot. I just buy far too much crap. So here we are, Super 7 Ultimate TMNT. A lot of them I managed to pick up in the sale, though, which is great. But this is a really good collection. That Bebop and Rocksteady are just ridiculous figures, aren't they? They just look so good. Baxter Stockman's dangling off the ceiling. I do use sort of like the cable ties, like the bendy wire cable ties that tie the figures up to hoop through the shelves. As anybody's wondering what shelves I do use, it's IKEA Kallax shelves. They do come in these sort of more cube-like ones you can see there. But what I do is I take the little middle panel out. You might be able to see under there, like there's the hole where the dowel would go in. So I don't put the shelf insert in, and then you get a double-sized shelf, and you can use the shelf hole to hang things in. So there are these Super 7. Look at that muck, man. That's just ridiculous. Love that collection. And then here's one more. Look, I'll stand up. We're doing it live. And there is the Turtles in Time gaming figures. Again, you might have seen me try and play the game. Yeah, I completed it. I was crap, died 75 times, but it did seem unlimited lives. Never played the games as a kid, but thought the designs were cool. So thought I'm going to like the games when those sort of cowabunga and retro collections came out. So got the figures. Might sell them, I'm not sure. But that Shredder is a really cool design. So there is the gaming Turtles. And then the main event of the Turtles collection here is the 4 shelves of TMNT cartoon figures, which you saw on the floor. There's loads more to go in here, and the reason there's loads of space is NECA have announced play sets are coming. The Turtles sewer lair, the kitchen, Donatello's lab. So hopefully, by the looks of it, they're going to be the same width as the cartoon diorama you see there, which means they will fit in this section. So hopefully on the 2024 tour, there'll be loads of dioramas in here. And somewhere there'll be a turtle van. I only went for the NECA turtle van, but it must fit somewhere, hopefully. So we'll go right to the top and work our way down to the 4 brothers, of course, front and centre on the cartoon diorama at the top. Bebop and Rocksteady flanking them, and then the damn punk frogs that would never stand up. Did use Kiki Loose Fix, I think, to put in the joints to make them stand up. Slash, you should see Slash somewhere in the actual building. He's the only NECA figure I've broken, as he fell off the shelf and his turtle shell snapped, but he's hidden at the back. So that's the top, and we come underground. Ace Duck flying there, Soggy Yojimbo and Splinter, another great figure at the front. That's where the Rock Soldier gang will go when I open them up. There's a few I've done so far. Down into Baxter Stockman, just loved him from the cartoon. And by the looks of this new accessory set, we're going to get the old Shredder helmet for him and different face sculpts. Surrounded by his mouse, there's another great pack. I'm literally like a little kid looking through this, aren't I? It's just, it's fun to look round. So there's a pizza monster, a classic xenomorph alien really, but hidden in disguise. And then Bebop and Rocksteady in their premonitions of a P-mutation, something like that. What a pack that was this year. Such a great figures. The Rat King in the corner, the Channel 6 news set from the year before, and then into the Triceratons and the Neutrinos in the middle. So as we take a step back then, we've now done one complete wall of the toy room. God knows how long this video is going to take, but that's sort of pan as we come down the side. So Storm Collectibles, into Turtles, across into G.I. Joe across the top, down into the Marvel Legends overflow, and into the Marvel Legends wardrobe over there. So that is the first half of the toy room. On to the next. Right, so just above the door, as I said earlier, the door had to come off so I could display more figures. So this is what's known as the Mint on Card wall. There is a TIE Fighter there, but we've got some classic sort of WWE figures on the side. Over into that He-Man 4-pack. Yes, it was very expensive, but He-Man throughout the years in cartoons, I couldn't resist it. The other version of the Kickstarter Spawn, Triple H, China, and then the ringside exclusive wrestling figures of Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, Cactus Jack and the Warrior. And then into what I do like to keep on box, because all the cards match, are the WWE Ultimate Edition figures. So the ones from the Mattel Creations on the top, into some of the Target exclusives and everything down there. The Warrior and Hogan, which are the Amazon exclusives. Down into sort of classic Attitude Era of Kane, Taker and Stone Cold. Hogan, Becky, the new WrestleMania 8 Ultimate Warriors just come in. But that is the Mint on Card wall, of course inspired by the man himself, Dan Who Reviews, with his retro Spider-Man wall. I thought, I need a retro wall, so I went for wrestling because that was always my first love as a kid, and I do like matching packages. So that just sounds dodgy, doesn't it? I like matching packages. Absolute filth in this video, but that is the mint on card wall. Right, moving on to another new part of what happened in 2022, the infamous blocked window display. So I was running out of space and thought, right, I don't need lights. So I installed some extra lighting on the ceiling, quickly from Amazon, got some foam board and some brick wallpaper and blocked the window up swiftly. So this is the second variation of the block window. It was Marvel to start with, but they've gone in the wardrobe later in the year, as you saw earlier. And this is it, the window display. So boys and girls, that's my tip to you for 2023. Block your windows and get loads more display space. So I don't need the curtain or the blind anymore. So I've got some mint on card figures across the top there. So you see a variation of different lines. 40th anniversary He-Man, my one and only DC Universe classics and everything there up the top, hanging literally on some shower curtain rings across the ceiling. And then we come into our first Super 7 display, another childhood favourite cartoon. Literally, I am a broken record, as I say. I love cartoons, I love 80s cartoons. It's Thundercats. So a brand new wave has just arrived of Thundercats. And I did manage to pick up this year this great display piece, which is Mum-Ra's Transformation Chamber from the original LJN line. I didn't even know it existed. But so it popped out this week to the UK Toy Fair, which was a great experience. So managed to pick this up for not a bad price at all, and I thought that's going to scale perfectly in this Thundercats display. So what I did is get Mum-Ra and the villains, so Monkey and Jackalman at the back there. My figure of the year for 2021 was Slive, and then you've got the sort of scale of Mum-Ra transforming into Mum-Ra the Ever-Living, and a new Vulture-Man there. So they're sort of taking the centre of the Thundercats display. The actual Thundercats themselves, the main crew, are over here, looking very good there, and some of the newer figures have come in are over this side. So that's the Thundercats display with plenty of room to come. I know we got the police officer lady, Manjula I think her name is, and the bike to come, which I've already paid for, so that's good. So that'll fill the gap, and probably the Thunder Tank this year, which I haven't ordered, so I'm hoping that goes in the sale because I've now got room technically to fit a Thunder Tank up there, so we shall see. By the power of Grayskull, what goes better with Thundercats than He-Man and the Masters of the Universe? Now we start in the actual window itself with the Super 7 animated versions of He-Man and Skeletor from way back in the day when they had the license. I just have those two for the cartoon. And coming out there, we can see I've sort of got 4 shelves of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe display. So Castle Grayskull takes pride of place in the window, as you can see there. And the room over there really is for the announced Snake Mountain is coming next year. So I had to move He-Man into a place where you could actually fit Snake Mountain in. So here are some of the Masterverse figures I have. I don't have a lot of Masterverse. Some from Revelation, and then some from the new Eternia line and Princess of Power. So maybe 1 cube of that to come. But the main collection is Masters of the Universe Origins, which takes up 3 shelves in the display. So these are very bright and colourful figures. They have gone up in price this year, which is a bit of a bummer because they were quite a cheap collection to get into. And I say they're just so colourful and remind me a lot of childhood. With He-Man as a kid, it was sort of, I was a bit too old to actually have the cartoons, but what I had was going to old car boot sales, and there was always these He-Man and Skeletor figures a lot like the car boot sales for cheap. So I'd often pick those up, and I think I did have a Castle Grayskull, like a second-hand one to play with as a kid. So it's another very sort of nostalgic line with the much improved articulation. So many different characters within the line. The vehicles there, the Wind Raider, the Rotons over there, the all sorts here in the He-Man section. Battle Damage He-Man there, and Skeletor as well at the back. Also, there's more to come because Snout Smoke Camo Khan, which is the Mattel Creations, has just literally just arrived. And the Snake Men will be doing a lot in 2023. So lots more to come, I think, from Masters of the Universe Origins. Really bright and colourful. So I do enjoy this collection. And as I say, Thundercats above. So that is the window as we now work our way down the display. Now at the bottom of the window display is the Lord of the Rings from Diamond Select. I just have a few of these with the sort of Sauron builder figure there. There's a Gollum on this little rock with his fish. Those are the Toy Biz Lord of the Rings bases that I like to use in the display. There's old Bilbo Baggins' door at the back there with old Gandalf the Grey. So I do like me a bit of Lord of the Rings, so why not have a collection? That's what I do. Like it, I buy it. So across we go. Fitting in with Lord of the Rings is Mythic Legions. So we start here with what started it off. So Trevor 16 Shooter came on the Dan Who Legends and Liquor show with this figure, the Headless Horseman. And that sent me right into a Tiswas. So off I went with Mythic Legions. I saw these figures and thought they looked so cool. So here's the sort of Figura Obscura figures, so related to Mythic Legions. There's the new retail version of Krampus. And I had 1 AM Father Christmas FOMO, because that went up for order at 1 AM here in the UK. And, well, the FOMO got me, so I've got Father Christmas. So I've got a Figure Obscura section there. And there's the unknown one, Shout Out to Debate Makes there for that one from Legions Con. And then into the main shelves here, 4 shelves now of Mythic Legions. So this has been a big end to the year for me, because it's been about sort of 4 months I've tried to put these together. So this has not been good for the wallet. So as I've said before, a lot of buying and selling. I think sort of DC Multiverse had to go, and a lot of the MCU has been sold this year to sort of fund these other collections. So here are Mythic Legions. So I've used the packaging artwork on the wall, because I think it's Nate Barch who does the artwork. Some great artwork here for Mythic Legions. So let's have a close-up. So it just reminds me sort of Lord of the Rings and He-Man. That's why they're sort of in one section. It's just like a crazy version. The paint on these things is just ridiculous. So we've got a giant forest troll. We've got one of the actual horsemen, like the Horseman of Hell, I call him. I think it's Areth here. Some skeleton sort of Legion builders. Into the forest, into the good characters. Look at this little red thing. Absolutely freaky. It's just, the paint is so good, the designs are so good. There's one of the dwarf characters in the bright blue armour. Shout out to say Damien Restored helped me get that one. AliExpress, a lot of these I've got off, because a lot of these aren't actually in production anymore. But I think it's Firefly Model Store, if anybody wants to have a look on AliExpress, that still has some of these in stock. There's Alithia, I think the most recent wave, sort of goddess of vampires, I call her, with a crazy horse. And then down is sort of the ogres and orcs, which are my favourites. Managed to get like the gold goblin king, some other sort of goblins. Look at the size of this fella. Absolutely massive. The scales between these are really good. Yeah, they are quite hard to get here in the UK. Shout out to Emporium of Cool that actually has them. Got some current accessories I'm working through. Managed to get, I think, last year's Legion Con exclusive Sir Gerard there in the front. It does come with this crazy skull head sculpt. Absolutely brilliant. But that is Mythic Legions, which I think is going to be one of my main focuses here, because I say we've gone from none to 4 shelves in 4 months. So 2023 I think it's going to be a good year for Mythic Legions. We've got the Necronominous wave, the Skeleton wave coming up in January, so I'm definitely going to be pre-ordering that. Skeleton horse, can't go wrong. So Mythic Legions, one of the outstanding bits of the collection I think from 2022. I'm looking forward to more in 2023. So if I take a step back, you'll see that's now completed the full window display of the toy room. So we've got one more wall, I should say, in the toy room to go, and then we're off downstairs. So here's a very quick bit of the toy room to show you. This is the Super 7 display. You've seen the Thundercats, which I say, and the Turtles, which are separate, but this has got the Super 7 wall. So we start with Disney. We've got the Mickey. Love this Prince John, great figure, and Pinocchio. But we haven't really seen much more from Super 7. So my Power Rangers self, nope, hasn't got a single figure on. It's got some Power Rangers books there to read through, but no actual figures. Transformers, I've got 2. I do love this Optimus Prime. See, some of these figures are great when they come. They're just very slow. Into my G.I. Joe Super 7 shelf. Nothing there, just a load of stuff to sell. And into my Simpsons shelf of some random He-Man figures. So, Super 7, let's hope we get some figures in 2023, because it's not looking very good on these shelves. Right, moving on from Super 7, we definitely do have some figures to show in the colourful section, as I call it. So we've got another sort of retro gaming self. This is, I think it's a Jack Specific that makes these. So I've got a mix of Mario, Pokemon and Sonic the Hedgehog. So I've recently picked up some diorama pieces. So Bowser's Castle from Smith's, which is a toy shop here in the UK, and the sort of Green Hill Zone for Sonic. So these are the sort of 4-inch scale figures. So I've got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles and Dr. Robotnik there, all on the Green Hill Zone. So it makes it for a great little sort of diorama piece. And look at this very colourful section. Mario, of course, on the Game Boy for me when I was a kid. Another great game. I used to love the, when you used to get the fire flower, as I used to call it, like piranha plant. So that takes front and centre. There's Bowser and his castle, which makes for a very colourful display. And again, on the Game Boy, I had Pokemon. I think I had Pokemon Red, and Bulbasaur was my character. Psyduck was always my favourite Pokemon, so he takes a good place there. We got Haunter, Gengar, Ghastly, MOTU at the back there. There's a little Magikarp I just picked up recently. We got Squirtle, Blastoise, Bulbasaur, Venusaur, Ivysaur, they're all in there. That's the Pokemon Select, Charizard. So not too bad, these figures. They're sort of £7, £8, £9, and they make for a very colourful display. So sticking in the colourful collection, we've got a very new collection from Hasbro, which is Dungeons & Dragons. So shout out to Cool Toys UK, old Hill Phones we know him as. I'd never even seen Dungeons & Dragons cartoon. Sent me the link, and what was it? An 80s cartoon, as you know. I'm an absolute sucker for an 80s cartoon, as I've said many a time. I thought, yeah, that's a great cartoon, 2 episodes in, let's get the figures. So here we have Dungeons & Dragons, literally come out from Hasbro. Would love one of the 3-headed dinosaurs. I think that would be... Dinosaurs? Dragons, I should say. That would be great. So, nice and colourful. Bit of a pain in the arse, these ones. Literally had to heat them up for like half an hour to try and get the joints to move on them. But once they're moved, yeah, they're pretty cool figures. Just a bit of a pain in the arse out the box. So Avenger, the villain at the back there, the Dungeon Master, and all the little characters so far from Dungeons & Dragons. So that should make for a nice little display cube. Moving down, we have, well, firstly we have room, again, a load of boxes. That's where the Jada Toys, Capcom, Mega Man and Street Fighter figures will go. But Bucky O'Hare, Christmas 1992, I think, for me. I remember that one vividly, getting a load of Bucky O'Hare, spaceships and figures. So here we have the Boss Fight Studios. Unfortunately, never finished the line, but that's what they have so far. I've picked most of these up this year. I just had Bucky before, but then found some in the sale for the sort of Toad Stormtroopers and Deadeye Duck and everybody else. So a nice little cube there for Bucky O'Hare. Very good childhood memories of that cartoon. So that's sort of the colourful section. Moving across, as we shift across, again another, so shout out to Mini Plastic Multiverse, again on Legends and Liquor on the Dan Who streams. If you've never seen that show, make sure you watch that on Dan Who Reviews, Legends and Liquor. I'm often on there as a regular guest. But Mini Plastic Multiverse ripped open live on there one of these Mcfarlane Superpowers Superman figures, and I thought, fine, I have these, let's rip them open too. So I've managed to do quite a fun little display. So I've got a sort of diorama piece. It does light up, I think, of Gotham City there in the background, which is from one of the other DC line Spin Masters, I think that comes from. And I've just got these sort of 5-inch Mcfarlane Superpowers figures. There's a few more to come next year, so they should be fun, along with a Batwing, another recent pickup in a sale for about £16. So I think this will be a fun little DC cube. As I say, I pulled out the main Mcfarlane multiverse from the toy room. Might try and sell that and then focus on these for the DC up here. And then into the main colourful section, and again, lots of childhood memories for this one. This is Batman, the animated series, along with Spider-Man and X-Men, an absolute childhood staple for me. Love this collection, and this is one of the reasons why the collection is so deep in here, because I got these at Toys R Us when the UK still had Toys R Us, and I've got about over 50 figures, I think, in here. I'm nearly complete, apart from Alfred. So if anybody knows where I can get an Alfred from for not £600, because he came with a Batcave, that would be very much appreciated. So here we have the animated series figures. Like Deathstroke's one of the newer ones from the Adventure Continues, and they expanded it into the comics. But such a great cartoon. If you haven't watched it, definitely recommend watching it. It's available on Blu-ray now. It holds up. You can get more out of it, I think, as an adult than I did as a kid. It's just such great references in there. See what we can do, focus in on some of these great figures from DC Direct. DC Collectibles does make for a really fun, bright and colourful display. So Batman the Animated Series, absolutely love this collection, so very happy to have them all. So on to WWE, and what can I say, this is what started it all off as a little boy for me. One of my friends had the VHS tape of WrestleMania 9, and I thought it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. Undertaker came out, I actually thought he was dead, and it was like superheroes come to life. So early 90s WWE is literally my childhood. So to build this custom arena with the Mattel Creations entrance stage is literally a dream come true. So it just looks epic to me. So I've made like foam board on the bottom there, using the spare shelves that I didn't use up there for the inserts. So I actually used them down here to make the base of the arena. Some barricades I put in there, and you sort of got Vince McMahon and Roddy Piper on commentary up there. So that's classic WWE. The more modern sort of SmackDown arena on the other side. The Raw is War Elite arena that's coming out soon is what will be going down there. So that's a display on the floor. Let's look at what wrestling figures we've got on the shelf. And here we are then. We have literally hundreds of wrestling figures. So Jack's Classic Superstars and Jack's Ruthless Aggression started it all off, but I've long since sold those to fund a lot of the stuff in the collection. I used to work at Woolworths back in the day. Actually started in the toy department in 2003. That's what started me off, and then when in 2004 we got these Classic Superstars in, I was just hooked, and then all it went on from there. So they've, as I say, been replaced by the Mattel figures over the years, but it's just an epic display. So I mainly collect throughout the eras, not a lot of modern, more 80s, 90s and sort of 2000 figures. So I'll just take you through some of these. Starting here then, we sort of start on the early WrestleMania, literally WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2. So that's a WrestleMania 2 boxing match, Roddy Piper, Wendy Richter there, a very old school Hulk Hogan, into some of the stars of the late 70s and the early 80s, Georgie Animal Steel there, there's an early Jake the Snake. Into a WrestleMania 3, Ricky Steamboat, it's got the new Mega Powers, Randy Savage in there, plenty of room to expand. Got the headless figure, waiting for a custom to come. Some old school NWA, WCW figures there at the back. Into more of an early WCW section there with Vader and Sting. There's the early 90s Ultimate Warrior and Turncoat Sergeant Slaughter. Now Sergeant Slaughter, he gets in every display here. He's going to be in G.I. Joe, he's in Action Force, he's in WWE, so he's in 3 different cubes. We come then down into the early 90s. With sort of 92, 93, there's SummerSlam 92 at Wembley Stadium. British Bulldog there, there's a Bret Hart. Classic Undertaker there at the background. Into sort of mid-90s now, there's a purple sort of 1995 Undertaker. The Ultimate Editions of Shawn Michaels there. Alundra Braze with the title she famously threw in the trash can on WCW Nitro. There's my boy Bret Hart, my favourite wrestler as a kid. Him and The Undertaker are it to me. There's his Survivor Series 96 outfit. Yeah, wrestling trivia is kind of my thing, so you could quiz me in the comments if you want on any wrestling history. I'll gladly answer. I do know very random, obscure facts. It's literally to an obsessive level, but I think that's part of the collecting mentality. So we go into the sort of WCW Bash at the Beach, the formation of the NWO figures there with Sting, Luger and Savage. Triple H as a blue blood before he was in DX. Then we go into the Attitude Era display. So this is the WCW NWO display, and the sort of 1998 sort of era here. Man with a Chainsaw. There's Terry Funker's Chainsaw Charlie at the front. There's the Rick Rude Builder figure we just got our hands on. The Royal We. I'm talking myself in third person now. It's getting very strange in this video. Some Kane and Undertakers there in the Attitude Era section. Into sort of 1999 to 2000 now. Again with The Rock, Triple H, early versions of the Hardys. Stephanie McMahon had a crush on her as a teenager. That's a fact. There's Rob Van Dam. Some of these are the Legends figures that are, I think, Walmart exclusive. But some of the people like Rock and Roll Collectibles have been able to get them over here in the UK. So that's been very helpful. I think they will be actually UK distributors for the Legends and the Ultimate Editions coming in 2023. So that's more Attitude Era figures. Now we go into the Ruthless Aggression era with the early John Cena, Kurt Angle, there's Eddie Guerrero, a Booker T, a short-haired Undertaker, there's Kane there, Jeff Hardy, into the Dominic Mysterio Build-A-Figure. There was a ladder match for the custody of a child. That was WWE in 2005. It was very strange. There's Lita and Edge. And we go into the back, into the sort of 2008, 2009 era figures, into the 2010s and the 2012s with the sort of Bret Hart, the Wyatt family there, and then into the modern era shelves with Seth, and there's a Sting, Finn Balor, Ronda Rousey. I could waffle on for days about wrestling, so I shan't bore you with it, but I will show you what we have in the collection here. There have been hundreds more, but say hundreds have been sold. I've just kept sort of what I see as the essential ones, but into the very modern era there with Drew McIntyre, and some couple of AEW figures there with Kenny Omega. So that's sort of the wrestling section. So lots of double cubes. Most of the Ultimate Editions, as I said earlier, are on the wall. So now we move on to the last bit of the toy room, which is Star Wars. Right, some serious nostalgia here then. Here is Star Wars. Now, with Star Wars, as a kid, this is very weird, I used to go to my granddad's house and rent the VHS tapes of the original trilogy. And I had no idea as a kid that Star Wars was a popular thing. I literally thought it was just me that liked it. So I used to run around the garden pretending I was Luke and Vader fighting with lightsabers. Didn't have a lightsaber, so I just pretended I had one. So we've got quite a big Star Wars The Black Series display here. Just giving you a quick overview, and we'll go through in more detail. So we'll start here then, back in the original film, back in 1977, in A New Hope. So we might be able to get this thing to light up. So this is I think the Black Series centerpiece pieces there for Vader. So I've got him using the Force push to push down some Rebel soldiers. There we go. The recent edition is finally having the complete set of 6 Cantina Band members. Play that same song, as they say. The old ball sacks, literally ball sacks and penis fingers. What more do you want in a toy overview? That makes me very happy to have those in full there. There's a part of the Cantina bar, a Dewback and a Stormtrooper there. A couple of versions of Luke's and his Land Speeder. So that's sort of the New Hope shelf. Into a prequel shelf, so sort of Clone Wars prequel shelf here. Now, I did say back in the day I'd never collect Star Wars because I didn't collect 3 3/4 inch figures, but then Black Series came out and off I went. So the missus is never happy with me with Star Wars because she always quotes me on, "You're never going to collect Star Wars," and yeah, of course I collected bloody Star Wars. She shouldn't have listened to me. So we got a cube of the prequels. More into the more modern stuff here, so the Mandalorian and the sort of Bad Batch. So there's the Bad Batch crew there at the front. Some different Anakin and different clone troopers there from the sort of Disney Plus Clone Wars. There's the toy box version. Is it the toy box version? I don't know. It's just cheaper version of the Razor Crest, which I just set on fire at the back there. Didn't go for the HasLab one. Many variants of the Mandalorian, Grogu and Boba Fett at the front there. There's Sasha Banks from WWE. She's made it into the Mandalorian display there. I just stepped on something. Let's hope I haven't broke it. So there's the modern section. My 2 favourite movies are at the top. Firstly, shout out to the sequels. Come on, shout out to the sequels, everybody. They're not great, but they're all right. So a few sequel figures here. Around the corner, we've got the Rebels. The Rebels crew, it might not focus, is hidden behind the Millennium Falcon with some more boxed figures behind the Falcon. And I wanted a Rancor. Obviously the HasLab Rancor didn't happen, so I spent the money I'd saved for that on the Millennium Falcon. So we have a 3 3/4 inch Millennium Falcon in the display, which is just epic. It literally fits within a millimetre. On the ceiling, we've got a TIE Fighter. So what I do is the 3 3/4 inch vehicles, which I'm also trying to do with G.I. Joe to scale in. And there's an X-Wing on the ceiling. So this year I have expanded to retro cards. So the same with Marvel. I thought I can't leave Star Wars out. So I do need a Return of the Jedi retro card that aren't out yet. So there's one space. But we will have one of each retro card from the original trilogy. There's the Mandalorian card. The Power of the Force 1 and 2 cards. Jar Jar Binks, of course, representing the mess of episode 1, but that has a lot of childhood nostalgia attached to it on the Phantom Menace card, and a couple of the other cards there, and the archive card in the corner. So we'll come over here then. Hoth is my favourite scene in Star Wars, so I had to randomly fit Boba Fett over there with Slave 1, but I've got a full sort of Hoth display, so I can get up there. We've got the Land Speeder, Leia fixing the Land Speeder. There goes the Flash, and all the other things from Hoth there. That is one of those light up bases, but I can't reach the button. Tauntaun in the background, so we've got a Luke dangling there from a Wampa. If I can get in the corner. Here's another brand new pickup for this year. I got myself a Rancor. I just went for the sort of 12-inch, 3 3/4 inch one, but I think he does the job. He's pretty cute. Shout out to Michael at Bring Toys to Work. Another massive fan of the Rancor. But there's Luke in Return of the Jedi with a Rancor. That makes me happy. I've tried to make some makeshift risers out of the table legs and Star Wars wrapping paper at the back. So Jabba the Hutt and everybody from Return of the Jedi. At the back there's the Endor scene with a variety of layers. I'm on tiptoes now to try and fit this in. We've got the Emperor himself with the 6-inch throne, but the 3 3/4 inch sort of background piece that we've got up there as well. So there are some great figures from Black Series. It has sort of tailed off this year, but I'm kind of complete, I think, in what I need anyway with Black Series. So any more original trilogy characters I'll be picking up, but at least I think this collection could nearly be done, so that could be a good money saver for the new year. We've got some Rogue One figures. If I can get way up there, you can have a look. Rogue One, we've got the Bounty Hunters from Empire Strikes Back in there. And then, as I say, some sequel on the front. So that is the overview. So pretty much the toy room now is complete. So that's the other side of the toy room, as I show you down there. That's the other wall. So what we've got to do now is get to the rest of the house. Right, so we just come out of the toy room. These might be quite hard to film, but we do have the NECA sort of horror figures above the door. So above the spare room door there, we've got Michael and Dr. Loomis from Halloween. We've got a couple of Freddys and Jasons in there. It is going to be quite hard to see them. Let's give you a quick overview. There's Pinhead from Hellraiser, Ghostface from Scream, and another Jason. And above our bedroom door, we've got more figures. She loves this display. She really loves it, does the missus. And I might be lying. There's a Robocop, Terminator, and John Connor 2-pack there. And above the bathroom, because why not have figures above the bathroom? Come on. We've got a Gremlin, we've got Doc from Back to the Future, we've got the Thing, and we've got Homelander. So that is the sort of landing display. So the only thing left now is the living room. Right, so we've made it downstairs into the Mezco and the Mafex. So there's an overview of the cabinets themselves. But there's a few more bits in the corner, so we'll start with that. Right, so this is just under the stairs, and this is the remnants of the Marvel Legends MCU display. This is all I have left, as I've tried to get rid of most of them to fund some of the others in the collection, and just kept sort of the essential characters from the first 3 or 4 phases of the MCU. So they're sort of hidden under the stairs down here. You can see them from some angles. It will struggle, I think, to focus in there. But I just got representation of all the sort of original films there, starting with Iron Man, with the giant ironmonger at the background, Winter Soldier in there. Wong and Doctor Strange are coming out of their portals. The big figures like the Hulkbuster at the back. I've got some little posters behind there. You might struggle to see those though in this. Thanos there, and the children of Thanos. And always keep the Spidey stuff, so I've got a selection of Spideys there. Vulture in the background. That kind of goes with the DC movie figure, because down here for DC I've gone for the Beast Kingdom figures. So I've got the Batman in a sort of nightmare scene there from Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman, armoured Batman there, and Superman in the background for just a cube of DC representation. This cube is for my sort of favourite film growing up, was Batman 89. So Joker and Michael Keaton Batman are coming from Beast Kingdom, so they're being there. And in the corner we have some Dark Knight figures. Down the side you'll probably struggle to see, but I've got a Super 7 Conan with an omnibus there, And we've got some Super 7 movie figures down in there. A selection of the Marvel books of Epic Collections as well. So, and finally, over to the cabinets. Right, so what I'm calling the main event of the tour is the Mafex and the Mezco, which take pride of place in the living room. So to start with then, I've got this little display cube here, this sort of frame from IKEA, with the Frank Frazetta Conan, and literally just got the Death Dealer. So they're off on the wall by the side of the staircase there, in a sort of custom frame, which I think looks kind of cool. So they're in the corner. And on top of the cabinets, we have, again, I'm using posters on the wall, sort of magnetic frames there. Cheap plug for myself. There is my mug my sister again got me. Maybe if I ever get famous, we can sell those in the future. So into the Dark Knight Returns. Again, one of the first DC books I read was The Dark Knight Returns. It's down there in the book section. So I love the white suit Joker, the Superman there with the battle damage on his face, the kryptonite arrow, Carrie, Kelly, Robin, the battle damage Batman himself, an armoured Batman. That's a DC Direct lamp, street lamp, which is literally right out of the comic as well. So that is a epic. You couldn't get a better representation if you tried of those figures. So that makes for one really cool display. Now I love Bane, and with confirmation that Mafex will be making Bane, we've got Azrael Batman there on the top. So I sort of have this half will be DC figures, and this half is Marvel. So got a classic Spider-Man comic there, and Avengers on the wall. Again, just sort of prints off eBay that sort of try and sell it all. There is the black suit Spider-Man that's turned up from Mafex. Age of Apocalypse Magneto's in the background, not quite sure where to put him. Now I love this Carnage. I love the fact that I can get sort of the Carnage on the comic cover and this Carnage literally in the same shot. Such a great display. Literally just looks like you've just torn it off the page. That's a great detail you do get with Mafex. Here is the new Spider-Man, which I got from Hobby Link Japan, which I've started to use. So with the yen being quite weak at the moment, that's quite good. I think that costs about £65, which for a Mafex is pretty good. Same with this Iron Man. I've literally just got this Iron Man in. Again, Marvel Legends old school Toy Biz base. And a great Iron Man figure here. So detailed. The yellow is so vibrant on this figure. So plenty of room to expand on the top. I know Thor's coming out this year from there. So that is the top of living room display. Now we'll get into the cabinets. Right, we'll go down cube at a time. I've opened the glass doors. These are just IKEA Detolfs, which I've used what they call a technique of decompaging. They call it to use old school Toy Biz comic books to make these sort of display bases that I've made here. So you just sort of use Mod Podge on there as well, like a glue to make these. I've done a separate video I think on the channel of how I made these. So you get some cool bases there. So Mezco Wolverine, really good figure. Might be a bit echoey from the glass I think, but he's so good. Magneto there, the X-Men Sentinel base. Spidey 2099, classic Green Goblin, which is a hint of what this cube's going to be, because this will be containing the Mezco classic Spidey, Mezco Doc Ock, Mezco Green Goblin, all to come hopefully in the next couple of years. Not too quick though, Mezco, because my wallet is pretty knackered. So staying with Mezco, we've got Mezco Doctor Strange in there, very detailed figure. These cloth goods, they look so much better in hand than they probably do come through on camera, but in hand, Mezco is just, it's outstanding the detail they can get in these cloth goods. I always thought they kind of looked like pyjamas, but they really don't in hand. Red Skull Symbiote Spidey there, into the Mafex DC with the classic Green Lantern, classic Wonder Woman. Now that's a figure that Todd hasn't made yet in the DC Multiverse line, but Mezco have made it, and I don't think you're ever going to beat that figure. One of my top figures in the whole collection is that classic Wonder Woman. There's the Dark Side Aquaman there. Oh, stand up, there goes it. I need a new bloody knee, I tell you. And then this is Mafex, and this is Mafex Hush. So we've got the actual comic itself, the cover on there. Again, Mcfarlane with the base into Hush himself there. Harley Quinn's literally just come in, unboxed her a couple of days ago. Joker, Superman and Catwoman. So if we take a stand back, that's the first of the Mezco selections. into cabinet number 2 then, which is going to be the Death of Superman from Mafex. So there's the black suit, came out I think in January of 2022. What a great figure that is, and that is a DC Universe Classics Doomsday. Very hard figure to find, I think, but glad to have him to go with all the other Supermen that will be coming for this cube. Hopefully they'll do a Doomsday as well. Into the modern Batman, and this is back to Mezco. So look at there, the modern sort of Joker design, Harley Quinn, Batman himself, Two-Face, and the KG Beast there. So I have luckily managed to secure a Mezco Black Mask to go in there as well, so that'll be another one hopefully to add soon to that selection. And then there he is, the man himself, Galactus. What more can be said? I've done a video on the channel separately if you want to check that one out on the unboxing. I even wrote the box. There's the Fantastic Four base, so that is the HasLab Galactus. It's waiting for the Mezco Fantastic Four, which of course have been delayed even further. So 2023 they might come out. We might have to be waiting for 2024 for Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four to join Galactus. But he's an absolute epic figure. On to the next one. And what better to go side by side with Galactus than the Marvel Legends HasLab Sentinel. We call him Bob in this house, and Bob is right next door to Galactus. Centre of the living room and centre of the whole display. What's happened to Jean Grey? She's gone flying on the side. So this is going to be Mafex X-Men that are going to go with the Sentinel. So there's the brown suit Wolverine. Again, there's all these bases you'll see, Marvel Legends, Marvel Select bases. One of the best figures ever made, I think, down here is the Mafex Gambit, an absolute beauty of a piece. And Psylocke dangling off the finger of the Sentinel there. If I come out, you can sort of see the full extent of the size of these things. He fits in the cube quite well with the posters behind. Hellfire Hank on the poster. Who else would be there? Galactus had to bend down though to fit in there. So those are some custom sort of cut shelves there. Perspex cut shelves that I had made from, I can't remember who made those now. But to fit all those in. And then into the classic Batman Mezco. And you see classic Batman, and you know who he's missing. You know it's coming. Here we go. What does he need? Classic Dick, of course. We are waiting for Classic Dick to go right next door to Classic Batman. So let's hope he comes. There's a Two-Face from that classic pack. A bat signal I have, it came with a book. And then the Deluxe Joker. One of my prized possessions in the collection is the Deluxe Joker. Such a nice figure. And then on to the next one. And here we are. Here is the Christmas present. You've heard me waffling about them for months. It's the Pink Skulls. Shout out to Mini Plastic Multiverse for letting me know they were coming out. Otherwise I would have missed them. But I have caught the re-release on the Pink Skulls. And they are just absolutely incredible. We've got a Jason mask there, smoking a spliff. We've got beer cans all over. We've got crowns. We've got guitars. We've got bottles of whiskey. We've got Gomez in a suit. We've got Popeye. We've got them, can't remember his name, the Hoods figure there, and Judge Dredd looking over in a sort of Mafex cube. So very, very happy to have the Pink Skulls. I've got him being very British. He's playing a cymbal down a drum kit with a cricket bat. How more exciting can you get than Pink Skulls? On to the next one. And into the final of the cabinets. This is the fourth cabinet, was added in 2022. So it's a bit of a pain because I had to do all the lights differently in all of them because they didn't match. So this is going to be Mafex movie figures. So I've literally just got the Terminator in there. Terminator 2, again, classic film. So I'm glad to have that. Managed to pick up a SH Figure Arts Tony Stark to represent the first Iron Man film in the sale recently. I'm going to be getting the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man to go in there as well. There's some more villains from The Dark Knight with Bane, Scarecrow, Catwoman and Two-Face. And a chap from The Boys whose name I have just forgotten. But so that's Mafex movie. Down now into Mezco movie. So a big fan of horror films. Did have all the NECA horror figures, but as I sold all those years ago, had all the aliens as well. But sold them to fund these. Just have some of those mint on card ones upstairs. So Michael Myers in the bed sheet. Waiting for Michael Myers from part 2 to come in. Dawn of the Dead, we got Freddy, we got Ash from Evil Dead. And down into Jason there. Again, this is the NECA diorama pieces, I should say. That's the NECA diorama piece from Halloween as well. Into Punishers down in there from Netflix, Clockwork Orange. And there's quite a few coming to this cube soon. I know the Predator have just been charged for. Aliens due soon. Eric Draven from The Crow, another favourite of mine, will be going in here. So that is the Mafex movie section. And the very bottom one is the Marvel. Mezcos, I should say, with Iron Fist and Blade, Moon Knight, and just a couple of quick KOs. I do have the fake Daredevil and Punisher for about £15 on AliExpress, because I wasn't too impressed with the originals of those, so I'm hoping for re-releases. So I just had the cheaper ones for now, save a bit of money. Ghost Rider's due at some point this year to complete that queue. So as I pan out, we'll just take one last look at everything. And just to finish this off, then just one final overview of the cubes downstairs. The lights are turned on. Gone for a blue. Seem to have a thing for blue today. They do different sort of colour changes on them, but those are the cabinets. Sort of the pride and joy of the collection, I think, of the Mezco and Mafex, and the fact that the missus has allowed me to have them in the living room, well, that's an absolute bonus into some of the books we have over there. And just like that, we've done it all. It's gone well over the hour, but that is the Toy Room Tour 2023. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. As I say, 19 years I've been collecting. I've had to sell a lot to try and keep up all over the years, especially with all these price increases. But it's a fun hobby, and it keeps me busy, and as I say, could be buying drugs. So it's better than that, as I say to the missus. So again, thank you so much for sticking with me. As I say, it's been well over the hour. I hope you've watched to the end. If you can like and subscribe, that will be great. We hit 500 subscribers in 2020, so I'm trying to double that in 2023, get to 1k, get to 1,000 subscribers, which will be absolutely mental. So I'm Jay, this has been Jay's Toy Collection UK. This has been the 2023 action figure tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments below. I'll try and get to as many of them as I can, and we'll see you next time.